Well, hello and welcome. How good was that? The new format for this morning, and we are starting with news, weather, and an expat update in these 30 minutes before we are joined by Gilda Pereira from Immigrant for our visa update, our weekly visa update on a Monday. So, a little bit of a new format to share with you, to experiment with, looking at Portugal-based news. The weather, of course, it never mattered, did it? The weather never mattered in the summer months because it was just blue skies and lovely warm temperatures. But if I look at my probe, my weather probe that is hanging out the window, it's currently 11, it's coming up to 12 degrees. It certainly didn't feel like it this morning. And there was a low, let me have a look, 4 degrees overnight. So I think the weather has something to tell us, and it's worth sharing at the moment. And of course, I can share with you weather from Portugal's 20 districts, okay, as well as that's 18 districts in the mainland, and then, of course, the autonomous districts of Madeira and the Azores, and weather as well, of course, to share with you from each of those. And you can choose. I used to do weather by request. I think I could still do that until it just gets too difficult to do so. So if I show you my weather page, we'll come back to the weather, but we will do news first. Of course, the big news story is the election that's coming up in January in the new year. An early election. Parliament has been dissolved here in Portugal. But here, look, here's the weather. You can choose from the usual suspects, of course, the big cities, Lisbon and Porto. We can also check out the weather in Coimbra, Faro, Aveiro, Beja, Braga, Castelo Branco. Nice to name check all the districts, actually, just so you know. Évora, Leiria, Santarém, Viseu, and of course the C team. I don't mean that in a bad way. Bragança, Guarda, Porto Alegre, Setúbal, Viana do Castelo, Villarreal, and the Azores and Madeira, of course. There they are on the screen, if you can see them now. And yeah, quick shout out, talking of looking on the screen. To the podcast listeners, who I think have had a bit of a rough time of it in recent times, because we have a lot of fun talking about the comments that are on the screen. And of course, the podcast listeners can't see those. So apologies to you for that. We do encourage consumption of the show via the YouTube channel. Please subscribe. But of course, excuse me, sometimes it's just nice to be able to listen via a podcast platform. And we're on most of them, apart from Spotify, of course, because I made the mistake of putting some commercial music on one of the podcasts. And I was struck, and I'm doing my best to come back to being on Spotify, but it's their choice, not mine, sadly. And I have asked if we can be back on Spotify, because it's a very convenient platform, of course, for listening to podcasts. But shout out to all the podcast listeners, and I hope this helps. The first 30 minutes focusing on news, weather, and an expat update. Big stories this morning, the Portuguese election for 2022. We're looking at how TAP are excited to quote here from the simpleflying.com website. TAP, the carrier, the national carrier for Portugal, are excited to showcase Portugal with a stopover program. That's pretty good, isn't it? And of course, the golf, the Portugal Masters, came to a what are they saying in the Independent? A dramatic finish yesterday in Vila Moura. Now, old Dougie has sent us a photo essay from his travels around the Algarve, including Vila Moura. And I think he wasn't especially impressed with Vila Moura. It might be to do with all the Portugal Masters traffic that was down there, Doug. So do bear with the Algarve. I think you've moved on already anyway, and you've got some lovely pictures from you and from Clive as well. Thank you, Clive, for your wonderful pictures from your recent trip in Lagos as well. And let's say hello to a few people who've already joined us for this new style format. Of course, we will start. We'll play the opening sequence that you know and love at 9, of course, and it will have the right time on it. Of course, I haven't done it just for that reason. But Thunder Ducks here, Andrea, midlife crisis, of course, with the Portuguese history today in Portuguese history. I think we should do those in the first 30 minutes. What do you think? Georgie George is here. Bon dia, Tourish from Georgie George Francis. Eusebio, of course, Chris Capricorn 12, and James Holly here, who is going to be our, I think, a little bit nervous. I did mention briefly that we were going to be changing this morning, and yes, in the change business, really in the human change business, gulp. But it's going to be fine. Deagle also here, Jack here, Bon dia Alegria, love a change, how exciting. Deagle is here too. Rebel Mama's here. And Jim White, good morning, Jim. Michael Heron, loving the new intro, Carl. A bit BBC, but loving the drama. It is a little bit grandiose, isn't it? Me and Mrs. M were up late last night editing that. Bon dia from Braga. Desde Braga, Portugal. Let's vote to end socialism here. Oh, that's a nice controversial line thrown into the mix this morning. Mark is here as well. Ron is here. Stephen, Owen, and Terence. Terence, we have a special picture from Terence this morning from his weekend's creative activities. Bon dia, the lovey from Alvagra. That's Terence. Bon dia, Gumpers, listening in while working this morning. Have a great week all. So fantastic. Come back to all your comments later on. Lee McGrady, of course, head gardener, he'll be with us at 6:15 this evening, answering your gardening questions from wherever you are in the world, not just Portugal. Good morning, people, from a cold but sunny morning in Lisbon. He's good for a weather check, isn't he? Because he's always out and about in the mornings. And see you at the gardening Q&A tonight, Lee. And Jean. Hola, bom dia. Feliz de segunda. 2 dias até Portugal. So just the 12 days for you, Jean, until you set foot in Portugal. Fantastic. Okay, so let's go to the news. Let's have a look at what it's a Daily Star, but not as I know it. I'm going to share with you a story about and I can't get out of that habit, calling it a story. I mean, stories are for children, aren't they? It's like fairy tales, although some might say politics doesn't lean into that. Going to the Daily Star now, and this coverage of the Portugal's presidential election. Sorry, not presidential election. It's a president who's called an early election. It's a parliamentary election, of course. Correction, and I will talk to Gilda about this. This is an interesting website. There are so many Daily Stars around the world. This is not the one I'm familiar with from the UK. Let's find out where this one's from. This is the Daily Star, journalism without fear or favor. And their reporting says Portugal's president calls early election by January 2022. Rebelo de Sousa there, of course, the president who was himself recently re-elected in this last year. The picture there, the Council of State on Wednesday approved his proposal to dissolve Parliament following the rejection of the budget bill. So that's where the trouble began. The proposed budget was rejected, giving way to the dissolution of Parliament and an early election in 2022. 30th of January, date for your diary, if you're able to vote or just have an interest in what's going on. You would think it would be big news. And let's find out from Gilda at 9. But let's chat among ourselves about that and let me know what you're thinking in the chat and the comments about a Portuguese election. The Portuguese president, Marcelo Rebelo de Sousa, made the announcement on November the 5th, an auspicious day in British politics for sure. A week and a day after the rejection of the 2022 budget, he said, I would like to inform you that I have decided to dissolve the Assembly of the Republic and hold elections by January the 30th, 2022. And that's Marcelo talking there. He said to the nation from the presidential Palacio de Belém in the capital, Lisbon, of course. The president said that he had listened to all parties, including parliamentary representatives, this, of course, being his job to preside over such matters, as required by the Constitution, and that the State Council had also expressed support. Parliament has decided to dissolve based on a majority vote and after a thorough analysis of the economic, social, and financial situation, as you would hope, right? That's their job. Last week, anyone understand the adverts that are being shown on the screen? Last week, the Portuguese, could somebody tell me, forgive my ignorance, but what language is this that's in the Google ads? Makes a nice change. And I'm thinking, the advert you can see to the right of the screen, again, apologies, podcast viewers, but the picture you can see on the right of your screen there. Oh, you know what I've forgotten to do? I've forgotten to send the link to Gilda. Bear with me while I do that. But have a quick look on to the picture on the right. Those are after and before, aren't they? Possibly a baldness cure. In the market myself for such things. But you can see there, it's for somebody who can translate this language. And I fear I do not know which particular language this is. Okay, that's done. That's Gilda's got the link now. Yeah, the gentleman on the right there, is that him before on the right? And then that's him on the left after he's put the hair tonic on his head. Anyway, enough about that. Back to the Daily Star and the Portuguese election in 2022. Last week, the Portuguese Parliament rejected the proposed budget. The Minority Socialist Party, Sir Lion H referred to them earlier on, PS, they failed to hold talks with members of other parties in Parliament earlier this week. Sounds careless, doesn't it? A lack of attention to detail there. The budget received 117 votes against, Ooh, 108 votes in favour and 5 abstentions. So neck and neck stuff, as we're seeing all over the world in politics right now, right? 52-48, that kind of thing. Previously, it was thought that the budget would be impossible to pass because Portugal's left-wing parties had abandoned the government. This has resulted in political unrest in the post-COVID period. Prime Minister Antonio Costa said, "I've done everything I can to get the proposed budget approved. The exact date of the election will be announced at a press conference." So it is the 30th of January, everybody. This piece here coming to us on November the 8th. I would have thought they would have been up to speed on that. Okay, so thank you very much to the Daily Star for that from MD Russell. Sorry, I've clicked too early to give you the appropriate byline there, and credit to the writer of that story. But I think we'll come back to this. A Daily Star from around the world that is interested in what's going on, not only in Portugal, but West Ham by the look of it as well, scrolling a bit further down. Very interesting. Thank you very much, Daily Star, for that. What are you thinking about the Portuguese election in January, January the 30th, before I move on? That'll be Hindi there that was on the screen. Thank you very much for that, Jim White. Thank you very much indeed. Matty saying, Carl, tell the Portuguese government it was not necessary to welcome me with an election. Yeah, that's interesting. I'm not sure it was done to herald your arrival, but who knows? Maybe your influence reaches that far. I think there's some talk about my shaven face. Was that Michael Heron? Wow, he's shaved, showered, and cut. When he's not on screen with me talking, he kind of he chucks in comments, doesn't he? Like some geezer down the pub, like a heckler. Good morning to you, Michael. We need to talk. And yes, in case you're wondering, it follows on from our Movember discussion, Michael, from like when you said, I think, oh, that's a bit 2004. It runs on, my friend, and we are raising awareness for male health issues, particularly mental health issues, I would say. And I'm not happy with this particular part. I've shaved it off so I can grow a moustache. And I'm not happy with this particular look. The what is it? The American most wanted sort of look, isn't it? Where the stubble is coming back, and I look like I've been driving constantly for 48 hours across America to evade the authorities. This is the before. This is possibly the after. What do we think of that? Susan sent me this picture over from Finland on the Saturday night show. Thank you to everybody who joined us on Saturday night, me and Mrs. M, for the Feel Good Portugal show. That's what I'm going to work towards, the old Clark Gable. I haven't got the barnet for it, or the pipe, or the tight-fitting polo neck, as it turns out. But I do have the dimples for it, she pointed out. So that's very kind of you to say that. And that's where we're headed, Michael, with that. All right, more comments about the election. Yes, Michael, it is a bit BBC, but loving the drama. I think it causes us to stand to attention in the mornings as we herald the day with a bit of news and weather. Elections can only be on the January the 30th, apparently, says Sir Lion H, hoping for less socialism up there in Braga, because two right-wing parties, PSD and CDS, will also have elections to elect a new leader in November, December. So time is needed. Okay, so it might have been quicker had it not been for the PSD and CDS having their own internal elections. Mate, it's taken years off your face. I guess it has. Bon dia, Carl from Oregonians. The clean shave is nice, but so was the beard. It'll come back, don't worry. I feel very naked and exposed like this. I like that you do your own thing. Yeah, well, I do my best, and I was thinking about that actually, about doing one's own thing and whether one is a rebel or not. And I think we all like to think we are to some extent, don't we? And I'm certainly not as much of a rebel as I would like to think I am, I suspect. Or is it the other way around? The left parties abandoned the government, more like disagreed. Rebel Mama not liking the cut of that coverage jib there, perhaps. And it looks like a newspaper from India, as I thought as well, Sir Lion H. But I didn't want to expose my ignorance any further than I was already doing. Okay, so that's interesting. Yes, Sir Lion H. We'll be having elections, or those parties will be having elections, PSD and CDS, and then the parliamentary election will take place on January the 30th. Bon dia, all you lovely gumpers. Snow doesn't look too far away at the moment here in Northern Ireland. Very chilly, miserable morning after my first coffee. My day seems to be brightening. Excellent. And morning all from Elra there. We will come back to all your earlier greetings, folks, at 9 o'clock. And, of course, we'll welcome Gilda then for the visa update. A question in for the visa update already, I think. I'll put this to Gilda and Christina. Well, I'll put it to Gilda. It sounds like you're already talking to Christina at A already there, Susha 1404. Who knew a shave and a cut could change one's appearance so much? Well, yes, I surprised myself. It's me who had it. And I've surprised myself, James, and it's true. Smash the likes, everybody. I did ask for that on my video. I was quite thoughtful, I think, in the composition of that video. And I am asking for likes, subscriptions, and comments, of course. And this you're used to this, aren't you? The new format, the Portugal news, weather, and the expat update this morning. So let me know. The idea is to comment. Feel free to comment on the news and whatever you hear coming into your ears and before your eyes on the screen here. As I share screens, as I'm about to do now, with TAP, the domestic carrier. Isn't that what an airline is called? The domestic carrier with the national airline. TAP, of course, the international airline and domestic carrier of Portugal. And they are excited to showcase their new stopover program. Actually, strictly speaking, it's just I think a relaunch of an existing program. Reported here on Simple Flying, and TAP here, their excitement overfloweth. They pride themselves on being the national carrier of Portugal, reporting here from Sumit Singh from Simple Flying, along with transporting passengers to and from Portugal. It has a vital role, does TAP, in connecting travellers via its hubs. With Aspect, the airline, is this a translation, I wonder? With Aspect, I wonder what that means. The airline introduced an innovative stopover program for flyers to see the wonders of its nation. The carrier is looking forward to welcome more visitors via this service as flight activity starts to rise. So here are the options, folks. This is how it works. The Portugal stopover program. I do like the livery. That's what it's called, isn't it? On the screen there, you can see a delightful A330. I haven't been on a plane for ages. I do like air travel. The Portugal stopover program allows passengers to stay in Portugal for 1 to 5 nights for free. So just how free that is, we will discover in a moment. I think it's probably quite a good deal and would cost you if you did it with another airline, but maybe a lot of other domestic carriers to do this to boost tourism. And we'll find out. We'll find out whether you think this is good value or not. You let me know in the comments there. And 1 to 5 nights with travel opening up again. Simple Flying caught up with Ricardo Diniz, TAP's sales director for the UK, Ireland, and the Nordics, about the progress of this project. You know what? It is cold this morning. My legs feel cold. I'm going to need a blanket soon. Sat here in the studio like an old giffer with a blanket on my knees. Passengers can choose from either Lisbon and Porto as their point of stopover. So not Faro. And this, of course, very useful, very interesting, possibly. What adverts that? I have to be so careful about what adverts come up after. I don't know who's been searching on my computer. Oh, this isn't too bad. This is the Aeroshark Riblet film for Lufthansa. Very specialist, and somebody making an airplane there in the pictures. The moving pictures to keep you entertained. Yeah, if you're thinking of, if you're considering Portugal, you might be one of those people who's very new to the show, and you're thinking, what's this all about? Portugal. Maybe I'll check out Portugal. You can do that with a TAP stopover. So let's find out more. Passengers can choose from either Lisbon and Porto as their point of stopover. Lisbon is noted as one of the oldest cities in the world, incidentally. Always nice how those things are woven in, isn't it, into stories like this. Articles, I mean. The capital of Portugal is situated along the Atlantic coast and is lauded for its colourful buildings. Typo, fine dining and cultural essence. It's colourful buildings. Meanwhile, Porto is situated further north and is the country's second largest city. There are numerous picturesque locations such as the Douro River. Got a Douro wine that Dougie includes in his little photo safari, which I'll bring you in a moment, which is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. That's the Douro River. Many visitors would also love the old churches and palaces dotted around the area. Not another castle, as Jerry would say. To make a stopover, passengers can see if their route is eligible by using TAP's checker. I feel like I should put that in the comments for you. They can then follow the page's next steps to get their visit going. Okay, so essentially TAP's home is a little bit more background about TAP. They're geographically positioned on the edge of Europe. From Portugal, it can travel across the Atlantic to the northeast of Brazil. I mean, this is not just TAP, is it? This is the beautiful positioning of Portugal itself. poised there, ready to fly people to the northeast of Brazil, the east coast of the United States with their this is a flying website, and I think the writer loves to chuck in the fact that they have A330 Neos and the A321LR. So for passengers connecting with the airline or its partners from across the continents, they can take advantage of the stopover initiative and not have to endure a long journey with several transfers in one go. And as I said before, the stopover program was first launched in 2016 and utilization was growing consistently throughout the years. However, the global health crisis naturally took its toll on broader operations. Nonetheless, TAP is looking to get the momentum going once again. That's very good, isn't it? And just having a very quick look at the TAP website. I'll give you the link for that, actually, so you can use that free stopover idea. And I was reminded. Thank you, Thunder, for your wonderful video that you made. But I noticed that Pete had already made one, and I'd long forgotten about it. It's this. I'm going to have a quick sip of my beverage now. Stand by. So just so I didn't have to cough all over you, isn't that great? Thank you, Pete, for that, and thank you, Thunder, for your video that we were editing together. We will continue to work on those because I do like those, and we'll see you soon, Thunder. Absolutely. Although I think you popped out, you said earlier on in the comments. Okay, any views on TAP? And also on the election? Carl says, Michelle, did you see that? A property in Portugal. Michelle, thank you for your email. That is indeed a beautiful song. What a lovely sentiment. Thank you for sending that to me. Carl, did you see that property in Portugal has been purchased directly with cryptocurrency? Not in Bitcoin or Ethereum, in Cardano. Well, that's amazing, isn't it? Is that a precedent that will maybe influence all of the property market here in Portugal and the influx of crypto type people, the crypto community coming to Portugal? That's extraordinary. I didn't know that. Have you got a link, Michelle? I'll have to bring that to you tomorrow, I think, won't I? Well, Carl, an ad came on before the show started, so you must be doing something right. My goodness. Okay. And yes, definitely, says Raphael, not your average globetrotter. Thank you for your offer as well, Raphael. Great to talk to you via WhatsApp. Yes, definitely like to hear about the news and politics. Very interested in learning more. Okay, so this is a hit so far. Of course, nothing lost here because we will return to our usual shenanigans and community chat and our regulars like Gilda, who's here at 9 o'clock, and we'll play the theme tune that you know and love at that point. You just had a little taste of it just then with my Please Stand By video. So that's good. A nice thumbs up from Raphael there. The Portuguese constitution states that we should, in quotes here, open up a path towards a socialist society. I always thought so, Eusebio. I think we've tried enough right-wing politics in Portugal. Okay, so that may continue between Sir Lion H and Eusebio. And of course, any discussion about socialism would have to go into some definitions, I think, wouldn't it? Because there's certainly a lot of the right-wing politics you talk about in Portugal, I think, might even class itself as a form of socialism, right? The centrist sort of stuff, Eusebio. I'm confused, says Owen. Are we talking about airlines or hairlines? Both this morning, Owen. Have you got any recipes that stimulate hair growth, I wonder? Talking of recipes, oh my goodness! I went to you'll appreciate this, Owen. I went to the market at the weekend. There's a new family tradition of 4 weeks now that we've been doing this. But I went to the market on Saturday morning, as we like to do. Oh dear, where have my cockles gone? Oh no, there they are. Sorry, I thought I'd lost my cockles for a minute. Bought these, and look at my cooking there, Owen. Those cockles cooked to perfection, my friend, with a little bit of I think it was coriander the lady gave me as a bit of garnish, but cooked a little bit of an Alentejo reference there. Fried up a few lardons or some sort of chopped up fatty bacon with some onion, and then I put those cockles in. Sorry, this isn't news or politics, is it? But it is it's news from my kitchen. But I put those cockles in there. I thought they were a clam of some sort. So I was leaning towards the Alentejo style of cooking there, Owen. and they were cooked to perfection with some lovely white wine that they were infused in, evaporated off the alcohol, so it wasn't too boozy. Well, in fact, so it wasn't boozy at all. And my goodness, they were plump and delicious, cooked to perfection, delightful. Thank you, Owen. And yes, so the reason I started talking about that is, do you have some recipes to assist with hair growth? I think we can have can you imagine if we had a coffee table book, recipes for a lustrous barnet? We probably have to give it a more accessible title than that, but you know what I'm talking about, Owen. Portuguese news, current events is a great addition, goes right along with language, learning, history, culture, and flying on tap. I'm not sure these two are connected, but you're flying on tap next week. That's great. Brand new A330-900, the Neo, the new engine option. That's very reassuring, isn't it? It's got a new engine. Ooh, how old was the last one? For goodness sake. Okay, so how do I arrange? Sorry, I was going to tell you, wasn't I? How do I arrange me stopover? You can go to flytap.com. I believe probably that's their booking website anyway, isn't it? Flytap.com. Have used them in the past. I don't think I had too many problems. You can check to see if your route is eligible. That's the first step. Actually, this needs to be on screen, doesn't it? Let me just get rid of that last share I was going to do, which was about the golf that we'll finish off. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to be quicker than this. Gilda will be with us soon. I've not done the golf or the weather yet. It's the first time, isn't it? It's the first time. I'll get better at this. Did I distract myself again too much? Okay, so how do I arrange a stopover with TAP? Let's have a look, and let's let you see this screen as well. Number one, check to see if your route is eligible. Okay, number two, find out where you can make a stopover. And obviously, it's one of the two choices there, Lisbon or Porto. Maybe they'll add Faro at some point. Presumably TAP do serve Faro, don't they? And book your flight. Step number three, select with stopover flight, choose a stopover city and time, enjoy the stopover benefits. Now, it's free from their point of view at TAP to do that, but obviously they're not giving you a free hotel stay or free Ubers or free local taxis or anything like that. You will get special rates though, so enjoy the stopover benefits as you can see on the screen there. And I imagine they've organised a few nice deals for you whilst you're here having your free stopover from the TAP end of things, not free from the Portuguese government or from the hotels or anything like that. Okay, so let's just very quickly go to the GOF then, shall we? See what's happening over in the Portugal Masters. Big thing for Portugal. The Portugal Masters brings a lot of people to Portugal, of course. And Thomas Pieters wins the Portugal Masters amid a dramatic finish. So let's have a look at that now. There you go, from Yahoo News this morning. Thank you very much, Yahoo News. I think the prize money, worth learning to play golf for $1.5 million, isn't it? Probably dollars. Not entirely sure. It's the European Tour, so maybe it's euros. Former Ryder Cup star Thomas Pieters held his nerve on a chaotic afternoon in Villamora to card a closing 68. How they do that is quite amazing. The whole thing about golf is quite interesting as well, though, isn't it? It's like there are people watching other people with metal sticks hitting a ball, a small ball, around a nature park, basically, into holes in the ground. It's quite a weird thing if you look at it in the abstract, isn't it? But anyway, he closed with a 68 to win the Portugal Masters. The Belgian started the final day sharing a 4-shot lead. This is why it was dramatic, with Mathieu Pavon. Do you know what? Talking of Belgians and using my French accent there, I dreamt about Frenchmen erecting telegraph poles last night. And I could tell they were French because in my dream, they had French accents and they were very stylish. They were living up to my own probably subconscious, maybe not so subconscious, French stereotypes. They had stylish trench coats on as they were erecting a telegraph pole. And they were working for NOS or Mayo or something like that. But they were French contractors, the world of dreams. But found himself 2 back with 7 holes to play as the Frenchman. If you don't understand this terminology here, don't worry. I don't either. I'm just reading the story. He found himself 2 back with 7 holes to play as the Frenchman looked serene in search of a first European Tour win. So there you go, Thomas Pieters winning that. It was all change, however, like here this morning on the par 5 12th, however, as Pavon put 2 balls in the water. Sorry. It was all I'm going to read that again so that Michael Heron could spit his coffee across his desk and others. I know what you like. It was all change. Ready for this? It was all change on the par 5 12th, however, as Pavon put 2 balls in the water it gets better, en route to a triple bogey. With disgusting behaviour on the golf course yesterday, with Peters making a birdie in a 4-shot swing that handed him a 2-shot advantage. Peters found water himself on the 14th, and there was a 3-way. Is this a wind-up story here? There was a 3-way at the top in the closing stages, but Dane Nikolai Hojgaard, who surged up the leaderboard with a closing 64. Yeah, we know what could have happened there in that writing and scoreboard. Bogeyed the last, and Pavon dropped a shot on the par 5 17th after finding more water. Oh my goodness, absolute high drama on the course. It does feel like a long time, he said. Is this Pavon talking? Oh, sorry, Peters, of course, not Pavitas, but Peters. 2 years is a long time. I've had a child in the meantime who talks and runs around. Yeah, they do that, Thomas. It does feel like a long time. I was going into this week and next week with my back to the wall. I had nothing to lose but everything to gain. I've never missed the end of the race to Dubai and really didn't want to miss it. I didn't care if I finished first, second, or third. I just wanted to get there. But winning is amazing. So congratulations. And thank you for an excellent story there from Yahoo News. Congratulations to Thomas Peters, who won the Portugal Masters yesterday amid that dramatic finish, full of lace with double entendre in Villamora yesterday. Okay, thank you for that. And we'll have a quick look at the weather as we herald the arrival of Gilda. I think she's joining me today. Phone not connected. What's happening here? I wonder. Oh, maybe it didn't send. That's why she's not joined me. Oh, Carl Munson, user error. I need to get me. Just talk among yourselves because I've got to get this this WhatsApp thing going on here so that she's got the link. She's going to be so peeved with me, right? When she's looking for the link but can't find it. Okay, Carl, I need the link. Yes, you do. Michael Heron, yes. Oh, and all of. Okay, I've connected my phone to my desktop version. Oh my goodness, what's that, Deagle? And Victoria Benson. Oh, blue skies. It certainly is a San Martino summer, isn't it? This year for sure. We talked about that on Saturday night. Love that. Do you know in Germany it's called an old woman summer? Of course, some people know it as the Indian summer, but a St. Martin summer here in Portugal. And some people expect it that there will be a couple of weeks of really nice summery weather every November. Okay, so let's have a look. Brand new aircraft on the Newark-Lisbon route still have that new airplane smell. Oh, that's nice, isn't it? Because there can be other smells on an aeroplane, can't there? Chaos in Belfast this morning. Our cat Scooter just brought in a dead bird. Oh, my goodness. Minister of Home Affairs going mad. Thank you for the picture. I don't think I'll be showing that on screen. And TAP, apparently, according to James, is the only airline that flies non-stop direct from San Francisco to Lisbon. Excellent. Only 11 hours. Correct flight. Only 11 hours. Okay, so bon dia, Gilda. Let's bring her onto the screen because there is a question for you this morning, Gilda Pereira of Immigrant. Hola, bon dia, alegria. How are you, Gilda?
Hello, good morning. You forgot about me.
I did not forget about you. I so did not. What I didn't do was connect my phone to my WhatsApp desktop software. So I thought I'd send you the link, and people here can prove that. I have been talking about you all morning, and I said, "Excuse me a minute, I need to send Gilda the link." There, it was just sat there on my phone, and it hadn't wung its way to you. So how are you? ¿Cómo estás?
I'm fine. I see that you're improving your Portuguese.
Thank you. Yes, I'm doing my best, as are others here. And I think we'd started the 15 minutes, the 15 minutos every day, hadn't we? When we last spoke to you, is that right?
Yes.
We did. And then we've got Philomena to say this. Muito bem.
Muito
And
bem.
also, when we're not doing so well, we get one of these as well. That's mainly. Okay. So yeah, how are things? Did you have a nice weekend?
I did. Actually, I took the week off. As you know, I told you my parents came to Portugal.
Yes.
Yeah. So we went to Madeira for the week to spend some time together.
How lovely.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Okay. How was Madeira? Tell us a little bit about it, if you will. How do you get there? I mean, from people who want to do that, they're coming to Portugal, but then they're going to want to go to Madeira at some point. Is it easy to do that?
Yes, it is. You need to book your flight in advance because the flights are pretty full. Um, and really, they are really, really full. They look like buses, when everybody is going and there isn't an empty space.
Yes,
And
yes.
everybody's taking their bags and they're fighting over the place for the bags, and
Oh, it's like
I
that.
didn't like
Okay.
that part. Yeah, I didn't like that part. But once you get there, it's beautiful.
Yes. Okay. So it's like a coach catching the coach, like an internal flight,
Yes,
as Americans would understand it. Okay. So a bit of a scramble. And how long is the flight from mainland Portugal over to Madeira?
1 hour and a half.
Okay, that's great, isn't it? So nice and
Yes.
quick journey.
And I met lots of expats that went on explanatory trips and are looking forward to move there.
Oh, I see.
Mainly
Okay.
from United States and South Africa.
Oh, so something's happening in Madeira as well, then, by the sound of it.
Yeah.
It looks like incredible. So, what would you recommend then? Before we talk about visas, I mean, there's loads to do, isn't there? And there is the punch, I think, the lovely punch, poncha
The
that you can have
poncha.
in Madeira. And can you be dragged up and down the streets by a donkey on a piece of wood as well over in Madeira? Do they do that? Or,
No, that would be more Azores.
oh, I do beg your pardon. Oh, I'm getting me autonomous districts mixed up here. You tell me, what can you do in Madeira? What can people look forward to over there?
Well, what is very typical, you go with these cars with the cable
Oh
cars
yeah, yeah, yeah.
to the top of it, and then you go down in these I don't know how you call these cars made of wood, and then these guys would guide you on these cars made of wood down the
Oh,
hill. It's nice, and the kids loved it.
okay. And that is in
But
Madeira.
yeah, that is in Madeira. But there are plenty of things to do and many things to discover, and the food is great also.
Yes.
The poncha is early. I didn't drink the poncha because for me it's very strong. Uh,
Oh,
but many people like the poncha, but it's
yeah.
too many things mixed.
And the fruit is amazing, isn't it? I mean, it's what
The
a
fruit
lot
is
of us.
amazing. The fish is amazing.
Yeah. And that's hard to believe, Gilda, because you come to Portugal. I mean, I was at the market. I was talking about the. I'll just show you very quickly my cooking because I know you like you're a bit of a dab hand in the kitchen, aren't you? I cooked these at the weekend,
Mm-hmm.
um, with a bit of bacon and some coriander and some white wine. And you go to a market in Portugal and we bought loads of fruit, lots of exotic fruit, and we love it here because of that. But is it a whole new level when you get to Madeira, the quality?
Oh, yes, it is. Yes, it is. A whole new
Hard to
level from fish and vegetables and fruit. It's amazing.
It is. It is. It's hard to believe because it's so good. It's so good in Portugal that it could be taken to another level. That's fantastic. So Jersey P heading there in February. Paul going next Sunday as well. That's
Oh,
great. So
great.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And Ella, of course, recommending the Porsche. So it sounds like your folks are having a lovely time. Do send them our best regards on the
Thank
production of
you.
such a fine daughter.
Thank you.
And let's get. And you look very rested and well. I have to say, if I may
Yeah.
say. Yeah. Okay. So Steve Murphy's got one for you. If we can get into these. Bon dia, Gilda. Girl, question for Gilda. I'm hitting a brick wall with the CEF contact center, trying to get an Article 15 resident card. Appointment that is for that for my wife. I'm Irish with a crew. She's British. So I don't know if you deal much in this because a lot of people do this self-service, don't they, Gilda? But what's happening here? Do you think?
There, I don't think, Steve. This is only my guess, okay? But I don't think that they are going to take more appointments until the end of the year. Although I think you should try to make an appointment. Maybe if someone gives up, they can give
Yeah.
you an appointment. But I don't think that they are going to work on new appointments until the end of the year.
Okay, and that would include this whole QR code thing that the British are asked to do, yeah? Because at the moment, what the post-Brexit Brits are meant to go
Yes.
online and put in their details, and then they get a QR code, and that triggers an appointment, doesn't it? But, well, technically, not necessarily, but the idea is you're meant to get an appointment and be called in to CEF thereafter. And that's all part of this delay, is it? For Brits doing that with the QR code, they will also be waiting.
Yes, I guess so, because now they are all changing and they don't know who is going to do what at this
Okay.
point.
All right. So do what you're meant to do,
So
everybody, which is try and make an appointment and exchange your residency paper for a QR code. Do your side and wait for Seth to get in contact, I think. And yes, I need to issue an apology on behalf of the doc, who said he was sent a Seth appointment and he didn't even know it. It was actually last year, doc. It turns out, and I think he'd actually been to that appointment, so he didn't read the 20 and the 21 correctly. So, but still, it's still worth logging on and checking your CEF back office to see if you have been given an appointment. I would say, and do everything you like we're reiterating here. Do everything you're meant to do, and just stand by. Have a paper trail to show that you've done that. Election coming up. Gilda, since we last spoke, the 2022 election, January the 30th. We've already been talking a little bit about it here, as Rebel Mum was saying. Yes, head of Bloco Esquerda has challenged the Chega party by calling it unconstitutional due to its extreme right-wing platform. I think, yeah, based on the Portuguese constitution, of course. Hope they get the boot. You might not want to respond particularly to that comment, but what do you make of this early election in January 2022, and what do you think it will bring for expats?
I was very disappointed that this happened. I
Oh, really?
didn't expect. Yeah, I wanted them to find a solution without needing to go for the elections, because it's going to be time, it's going to be money that it's going to be spent and unnecessary. They should go for. They should have gone through another path or another solution. I don't think that the things that the Bloc de Esquerda and the other party were asking for in the budget were wise, okay, things.
Okay.
They didn't even had to do with the budget itself. They were like more other stuff, ideologic stuff. So
Uh,
it could have been done in another way, but they wanted to do it so, and then the president said, okay, if you don't get into an agreement, I need to call for elections. So he did it.
and
um, and of course he didn't have had much choice. They did everything that they could so that they could get into an agreement, but it wasn't possible. And now we are in this position. But honestly, I don't think it's going to change very much, because
hmm,
now we have the socialists on the government, and I don't think that it's going to change, because the other parties are in a very uncertain level. They
okay.
don't they are about to choose their leaders. Even the biggest party, which is PSD,
Yeah.
they are about to choose their new leader. So I don't think this is going to make sense.
I mean, it's upheaval, isn't it? On so many levels. This is uncertainty, lots of change, and that isn't the best environment for running a country and consolidating necessarily, is it? Just creates a lot of
Yes.
uncertainty. Interesting. Okay, so maybe that what will happen though, in the midst of all of that internal toing and froing and change, is that they will render themselves ineffective, and that's what we see. I think, isn't it? It's not as if politics in many countries is driven from the inside out. It seems that quite how do I put this? Neutral in terms of power, neutral governments are responding to world affairs rather than driving an internal agenda outward. So there aren't strong there don't seem to be strong parties that are driving an internal domestic agenda out into the world. It seems that all the governments around the world are just constantly on the back foot, responding to a whole global geopolitical picture, and not very well. But then again, I guess we've come to expect that, or that maybe is modern politics in a nutshell. There, obviously, that's just my own personal opinion. We do
Yes, I
welcome.
agree with you. I agree with you.
Yeah, and then they're quite diluted and neutral, aren't they? Either it would seem, I'm thinking, is that the case in the UK where I'm from? But that's probably not the right question right now. But I'm sure others will want to comment on that. So we'll mix it up this morning. We'll mix it up with politics and visas, because we have got this election coming, parliamentary election, 30th of January, 2022. But from James, for my first SEF appointment in January, to document my accommodation, what is the name of the form I need to declare that I'm living with a friend in Portugal? Asked James. Good question.
It's called, it can be the Atestado de Junta. I would strongly advise that you go with your friend to the Junta and he stated that you are living with him or her, and that you can issue an Atestado de Junta, or he can go with you to SEF and make term of responsibility.
There you go.
So there are two ways: an Atestado de Junta and a term of responsibility.
Term of responsibility. You prefer the former by the sound of it, and does it need to be certified? Well, in the case of an Atestado de Junta, that will be an official document anyway. The second one,
yeah, an Atestado de Junta doesn't need to be certified, but the other document, could you please write the name of the document?
Okay, we'll do that for you, James. So that, and that one does need to be.
Termo de responsabilidade.
Okay, all right. If you pop that in the private chat to me, Gilda, I can make sure that goes on the screen for James, or I can send it to him later. That's fantastic. Gary's here. Good morning to you, Gary. Happy Monday to you all. Pete's asking me, are those small clams or giant cockles? I get asked that all the time, Pete. Carl, love the news weather start to the show. Big thumbs up from Belfast. Oh, glad you like it, Carl. Or as Lee would say, it's not a cooking show. Yes, I know. Recipes for restoration, for growing hair back. I think seafood is probably good for hair growth. I've got a feeling. Raphael, not your average globetrotter. Yo, Stephen, he says, we had cockles with pork yesterday for part de dia. Prato de dia, I'm thinking, right? Just a strange combo. It's the Alentejo way, isn't it? Pork with clams, absolutely. Carl, I need the... Oh, was that you?
That was me. That's me.
Thank you.
And there is another one. Yeah. And I don't know why I was with that profile. I don't know. I think that the kids were, yes, the kids were.
What I mean to do, this is, and we'll get into the habit of this. So we're doing our news and weather to begin with from 8:30. And then at 9:30, I will play the old music that we used to have. And I forgot to do that this morning because I got a bit flustered when I realized you hadn't got the link. But you're here now, which is marvelous. Unfortunately, the election will probably see a rise in the representation of Chega and Andre Ventura, right-wing Eurosceptic, anti-immigration party, Andre Ventura. I think whatever you feel about him, he has got the coolest name in Parliament, hasn't he? He does sound like some kind of Hollywood star with Andre Ventura. I do need to go back, or would you please, Eusebio, will you please give me the on this day in Portuguese history? Because I think, oh no, we've got 3 of those. I'm going to do them all then. So, okay, I'm going to go for the third one first. Today in Portuguese history, 1934. Contract signed between the Post and Telegraphs Department and Aero Portuguesa Limited for the first time, carriage of airmail between Portugal and Morocco and onto South America. Things that we take for granted now. I mean, that would have been a momentous thing to happen, wouldn't it? That mail could be sent from Portugal to Morocco. And look, fast forward to today, and your mail can be lost in Lisbon for weeks on end. Today in Portuguese history, number 2, very on topic, 1953, Salazar's party wins all 120 parliamentary seats in Parliament. My goodness, a limited electorate, lots of bans, boycotts, arrests, and plenty of ballot stuffing. I mean, that's a landslide, isn't it? And today in Portuguese history, I mean, what sort of atmosphere would that create? It's quite extraordinary that you're describing there. Complete landslide. Well, a dictatorship, 120 parliamentary seats, all of them as driven forward by the government agenda there, with the bans, boycotts, and ballot stuffing going on, as you describe it there, midlife crisis world tour, or aka Eusebio. Today in Portuguese history, number one, the first one that came in 2017. We love these, Eusebio. Brazilian surfer Rodrigo Coja breaks the world record for surfing the biggest wave ever at Nazaré, 24.4. Have you ever surfed anything like that, Gilda?
No.
But I saw a picture the other day, and it really moved me almost to tears at Nazaré to see a man standing on a surfboard on top of one of those waves, and people looking from the cliff at the north. I think it's the North Cliff, isn't it? The North Beach, looking towards this man who was almost, it looked like he was on the same height as them, riding on top of a wave. And I thought, it's so dangerous. It's so thrilling and so perilous. But what an incredible thing that person pulled off there. So well done, Rodrigo. Has that since been? I think there has been changed since, hasn't it, or beaten since? Back to more up-to-date comments. Then let's have a look. Yes, Eusebio going on to with his fears for the upcoming election, and the new engine option is more efficient, and the overhead cabins are larger. So there you go, Gilda. Going to Madeira might get a bit easier. There won't be so much fighting, but more room in the Neo. Morning to Matty. Hope all is well. Best be off to the market in a minute. Carl's giant cockles aroused us this morning. Oh, Peter. Feliz segunda-feira a todos vocês from Paul. Have a lovely trip to Madeira there. Pam's here as well. Got a lovely picture from Pam. This is an autumnal alcabaça that you sent in to us. This is really lovely, this picture. Thank you to all of you who send in pictures. There it is. Autumnal alcabaça. I'll just move your comments so we can see it properly, so we can see the calzada. Get off. Oh, here we go. And now the banner's in the way. I've got to get rid of that as well now. Oh, my goodness. Okay. There you go. Isn't that lovely? The autumn sunshine. That's across from the main plaza there outside the monastery on the other side of the street. And that's a lovely little part of town that I think it doesn't get so much of the attention from tourists, but there's a lovely couple of bars and shops down that way. Beautiful, beautiful picture. Thank you very much for that, Pam. Keep those coming in, everybody. Okay, more talk of cockles, I'm sure. Oh, there you go. That was you again, I think, there. Does that mean we can bring larger carry-ons? Probably not. I doubt it. I imagine that's going to be a money-making opportunity, Rebel, with the added space. Morning, Owen. Hope you had a great weekend. What a lovely fella you are. Living with. Great meeting you the other week. That's Bleachy talking to Chef. Now, Chef, we've been working behind the scenes. It will be a cooking show from time to time. And we got a multi-camera setup in the Austin kitchen, and we'll be doing some cooking with Owen, or Owen will be doing the cooking. I'll just be looking and salivating at those. Bon dia. And of course, yes, featuring Owen's famous batter as well, I think, in the first edition. Bon dia. Oh, we've done this one.
The same question, yes.
Let us know, Steve, if that satisfied your inquiry. I'm laughing so hard now. That golf story with a different context broke me. Yes, I think that the journalist enjoyed writing that. There's never any appointments available, says Steve. When I managed to get through, been trying for a couple of months now. Any tips, complaints, books, solve it? I don't know what solve it is. Do you know what solve it is? Is that another way of complaining in Portugal?
I don't know what it is. Try the complaints book, but I don't think it's going to work. But anyhow, I always think that people should complain.
Is it true that, as well as the over 500,000 packages that have come from the United Kingdom in a warehouse in Lisbon, there's also another warehouse next to it with all the complaints books from Seth that are in there? I mean, it won't be the first complaint they've had. Let me put it like that, right? And they must just have a standard procedure for it, right? It's not like they go, oh my goodness, find the complaints book. We haven't had to use that for ages. It'll be like, oh, it's here. Can I have the complaints book when you finished with that client over there, please? Because I've got another one now. It's like another option is needed, isn't it? But anyway, good luck, Steve. I hope that works out. Keep going, mate. Keep going. Jersey, hola, bon dia, Carl, is Gilda. And of course, we heard from Jersey, who's off to Madeira. Thank you for that tip, Francis. Looks like you can sync up WhatsApp on the desktop and the phone more easily, so we won't be forgetting Gilda. We didn't forget you. We won't be having that problem again. Um, Antonio is here. Bon dia. How's little Mandela?
He's fine. Well, he missed us a lot because we weren't here, and I went to pick him up last night, and yeah, he was very happy to return
I bet
home.
he was. I bet he was. Yeah, I imagine he had a little pampered time as well while you were away. But
Mm.
I'm sure he was beside himself by the time he got to see you again. Um,
Yeah,
Fantastic. Okay, Jacqueline's here as well. Good morning, Jacqueline. You are making me hungry. Even better than poached eggs. The old clams there, yes, indeed, or cockles. Bon dia, Carla Gilda from Albi. We had a conference call with Christina last week. Christina is very efficient, and everything went well for the D7. Just have to wrap life in Australia before leaving Oz for Portugal. Excited, Albi. That's amazing. Look, you are.
great.
Yeah, just like in the picture there, the adventures. Who is your what's his dog called? Do you know what Tintin's dog's called? I forget now. No prizes,
No,
but do let us know in the comments. But yes, that sounds amazing, Albi. Are you the real life Tintin or Tintin on your way to Portugal? Obrigado, Gilda from Steve. I'll keep on trying. At least the new contact number doesn't charge for each call now. Well, that's
yeah, that's great news, Steve. That's great news. Yeah,
yeah,
they
okay.
have
And
there is a new contact number.
oh, that's good. They're not making a fortune from it, which is good. Did you miss my question? I don't think so. I think we've dealt with that, James. Our guest, of course, next Thursday, documenting your journey to Portugal here. So we've done that one, and
No, but
I think.
we forgot to tell the term of
Oh,
responsibility. How
oh
do
yeah, that's
you write it? And
okay.
it needs to be notarized, okay? No need of an apostille because you are in Portugal. So the signature of the person that does the term of responsibilidade needs to be notarized, okay?
And that
It's
phrase is now in the comments. There you go. Termo de responsabilidad.
yeah.
For you there. That's what you need to do, James Holly. Okay. Um, Another question for Elra. From Elra, I beg your pardon. Read somewhere that people who were born in Goa, India, until the 1960s or 70s are descendants until second or third generation. They are technically Portuguese citizens, possibly. Could you comment on that, Gilda? This must be happening all over the world with various parts of the diaspora.
No, it actually it's only for Goa and some other cities in India, but it's there there are very specific and tight requirements to become a Portuguese under these conditions. But yes,
Okay.
it is possible.
Sounds like a call to you to go into the little sort of minutiae of that particular arrangement there. But good question, Elra. And Raphael asking, is there a form of ID available for EU citizens when they live in Portugal? Or is it necessary to carry both your country's ID plus a copy of the crew with you at all times? As I understand it, you have to carry it, don't you, Gilda?
Yes, yes, you have to carry it.
Is the law here, isn't it? And I have to admit, I only really started doing that in all seriousness in the last couple of months. I mean, if I was going out on a long journey or a special occasion, I would take my passport. But no, I seem to go out with it everywhere now, with whatever necessary paperwork folded up into it. And with a family of five, that can be quite a big back pocket that you sat on in the car. In fact, here's a question for everybody. I'm thinking of getting a man bag as a result. Now, I had a man bag, quite a nice one, I thought, in that my elder daughters gave me, or an elder daughter gave me, and I think she thought it was a joke, and I would not use it. And it was a nice Amiga, good brand, and it looked like a pencil case actually. And I started using it, and I got lots of stick, as they say in the United Kingdom, for having a man bag. Now, this is more popular, isn't it, in Portugal, I think, Gilda, men having handbags. What's your view on that?
I think if it was popular, it's not popular anymore.
Okay, is it a bit 80s?
Yes.
Okay, so but there is a use case for it, if I may use that sort of tech terminology. If you've got to carry around, let's see, for a modern man in Portugal who's an expat, right? He's got to carry his ID, maybe his passport. He's got to carry other bits of paperwork, a DNA sample from his grandparents if he's going to Seth. He's got to carry a bottle of water, an emergency pastel de nata, and a camera, obviously, money, and a mobile phone. Don't forget the mobile phone, and then some sort of fitness gadget. You got to have a handbag. I think it's going to make a comeback, isn't it? But I think
A backpack.
I don't think you think it's very manly to have a man bag like
No.
Mrs. M. Okay, I could tell. I could just tell looking at your face. She thought she really did not like it when I started carrying one in the UK.
Really?
And she thinks it might be okay here in Portugal because of all this stuff we have to carry. But I can see you share the same sort of
a backpack.
A backpack. Okay, so perhaps that's the thing to do with all that stuff in there. Okay, all right, with the DNA samples and everything. Joao F is here. Good morning, everybody. Glad to see you all. Hello, Joao F. Oh, and Elra was asking about the Goa thing. There are other types of reunification, kind of descendants things, aren't there?
It's true only for Goa. It's Goa, Damão, and I think Diu. I think it's like three different cities in India.
Okay, but there is a Jewish route though as well, isn't there? If you have Jewish descendants from Portugal,
Yes.
I mean, what are the various routes in, but based on your ancestors and the Portuguese ancestral links? We've got the Jewish route, we've got the Goan route. What else is there?
And then the grandparents.
If you've got any kind of Portuguese grandparent, you can also. Okay, that's pretty amazing, and that's something that some people may not have thought of. So there you go. James needing, I love this. He's called it the Estrada da Junta, which probably means the state street of the parish. But there you go. That's what you need. Antonio straight in there with Estrada da Junta. That's right on the screen there, isn't it, Gilda? I think Antonio's helped us out there.
Yeah. Estrada da Junta de Freguesia. Antonio, yeah.
Okay. Back to cockles and a nice seascape there, JMB. Do the cockles warm your heart? Maybe living in Portugal and getting the paperwork right demands great emphasis on the. Yes, it's so true. If it's not working out at Seth, at least there's lovely seafood and fresh fruit to eat. Gilda, I completed a termo de responsabilidad for my T7. Do I need another new one, or will the original one work? James getting good value this morning.
I would tell you a good new one with the fresh date on it. They can be very picky, because the one that was used for the D7, they will see on the it's going to be there on the system. So I would, if it was with me, I would take a new one with the fresh date on it.
Okay, because they want to see if anything's changed, don't they? Of course,
yeah.
And if that is still the case. Okay, yeah. So another new one there, James. Nice fresh one for your TDR there. Solve it. This is a new one to me, and perhaps others here. The EU agency for assisting EU nationals living in other states who are having problems with the state's institutions. I think we need a special on this, don't we? And what are you touching there, Steve? Oh, you found like a Rua de Steve, maybe somewhere in Portugal there. Okay, so solve it. We need to know more about that. That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, Eusebio, Rebel Mum having a chat there. Snowy. Not sure what that means there. And Milu as well. Dominic Nazar is just simply saying Milu there. And I don't know why. Bon dia, Carl and Gilda from Iris this morning from a sunny Foz de Relio. Seth appointment finally for us today. Oh, Bossors, good luck with that. Why have they booked a couple on 2 separate days? I don't know. So why have they booked couples on different days?
It happens all the time, unfortunately.
Okay. It's just one of those things, Iris. Enjoy the day out is what I would say.
Yeah.
Yes. Allow extra time to go and enjoy the cafes, museums, and culture.
I need to say something. Some clients, I know that some clients send me presents, but I haven't seen yet because I was not at the office. So it's not. I'm not being rude. If I'm not saying thank you.
Are you going in today? Are you going in today?
No. I have a lot to catch up.
Right, including opening presents by the sound of it.
I hope it's not something to eat. But
no fish. Please do not
No,
send fish to
but
Gilda.
when I go, I will go to the office tomorrow, and then I will let you know.
Wow. Okay, with photographic evidence of the
Yeah.
various states of decomposition of fresh foods. So yes, please send if you and it's very good of you to do so. Obviously, we're not being ungrateful here, but like don't be careful
Yeah.
not to send fresh fish or bananas, that sort of thing, or livestock. No livestock. Snowy, of course, is Tintin's dog. Well done, Francis, for that. Thank you. I have so many threads here; it's hard to keep up, isn't it? Hard to keep up with myself. Tintin's dog's name is Snowy. Some great characters in there, aren't there? From Hergé's Tintin, Tomo de Responsabilidad is what you need there, James. And I'm just saying which ones are for us, which are people just chatting among themselves. This is Deagle talking to Matty, I think. I bought memories at the weekend. Portugal, I bought memories. No, Healthy Move Portugal. I bought memories at the weekend. You can buy memories now. Going to try link into forum and post my daily work. Is this Memrise possibly? Yes, I bought Memrise. You didn't buy memories, you bought Memrise. This is all to do with learning the lingo. Well done, everybody who took advantage of
Mm.
that Memrise offer. I told you all about it and I've forgotten to do it. I don't know if the 4-day limit is still there. I meant to do that. In the Netherlands, Tintin is called Queefje. Really? Or is that because Tintin it means something inappropriate, possibly in the Netherlands? Apologies, my spelling question for the Estrada de Junta. Don't worry, we knew what you meant. Absolutely no need to apologize. That was Gilda's "you're not drinking" face. That's right. It's the same. When I told you I wasn't going to be drinking, it gets the same face as the man bag, doesn't it? Okay, Gilda, the idea how to get a certificate of matrimonial capacity. Proof of singles, that is a brilliant turn of phrase. So single people are thought to have matrimonial capacity. According to the question from Bradford here, Bradford Rogers, if unable to travel to UK to get a UK statutory declaration notarized apostilled. So that's an interesting situation to be in, Bradford. First of all, Gilda, why do people need to prove they're single?
When they are not married and they want to make the family reunion with another person, they need to prove that they are single or divorced. So
Okay,
in this case, I'm assuming that Rogers is single and he wants to prove it. Okay,
okay,
but he's
okay.
in Portugal, so
Yeah. Okay.
he needs to get the certificate. I would try the embassy here to
Okay.
see if they
Uh,
can help
uh,
with that.
try your own embassy. Yep.
Yeah, try the embassy here. Um, if unable to travel to yeah, I would try the embassy here.
Okay. And they are very helpful, I have to say. I mean, embassies vary, don't they, in what they do for people. Some are focused on helping people get home if they've lost passports and things and sorting out trouble. Others go a little bit further. And I think the UK embassy, my dealings with Her Majesty's Embassy of the United Kingdom has always been a lot of fun, actually. And I found them to be very helpful people, not on a personal level, but when we've interviewed them, I've not needed to them to get me out of trouble. But when I've talked to them on the show, they've been fantastic. So lots of love to all at the British Embassy. Okay, so more talk of actually no. Before we go there, I'm thinking a chat up line then, Gilda, in Portugal is to say hello, hola, boa noite. I have matrimonial capacity. That is a way of letting someone know, isn't it? You're on the market, possibly. I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, you do realize that if you have a man bag, you must go full comb over. Pete, I'm working with every strand I've got here. I don't know what else I need to do for you to be considered old man Portuguese. Apparently, they do a great deal with a man bag. And Filofax. Filofax. It's time to, I've got a Filofax somewhere here as well. So maybe the Filofax goes in the man bag. Michelle, I think, also not a fan of the man bag. A messenger bag could work. And that's a bit cooler, isn't it? It's an over the shoulder number because that was part of Mrs. M's reservation about me having a man bag, Gilda, was the way I was holding it. And she said I was holding it like the girl from Frozen, like a clutch bag, like I should have
Yeah.
like I should have a ball gown on as well. I mean, what are you supposed to do? It works quite nicely tucked under like that. So anyway, maybe maybe a messenger's bag is the thing. You see, Steve agrees with me. You need a man bag in Portugal, especially in the summer. Don't want those shorts pockets. But cargo pants are quite good, aren't they? Because they've got 27 pockets in them, haven't they? They're only shorts, but they seem to have 20 plus pockets in them. And then someone says, "Can I see your ID, please?" I mean, the police must get fed up waiting for people. I'm sure it's in these cargo pants somewhere with all these pockets. Carl, more help coming in. Sartorial and practical. Crag hopper trousers are great. 9 pockets, and the trousers zip off too, which livens up a party, doesn't it? If things are getting a bit boring at a party, you just zip off the bottom of your trousers and away you go. Wait, what? Men can't carry a bag? I don't carry a purse, and I'm a woman. Is that unacceptable too? Yes, rebel mama. The authorities will be in touch. Mommy's boo. Bom dia, Carl and Gilda. We planned visiting Portugal for Christmas, myself and family. But embassy won't give us a visa. Which one? They said only when we have an appointment for our golden visa interview. So well, I'm sorry to hear that. We probably need a bit of background info, but you're just maybe sharing that bad news with us and don't need any help there. I'm sorry to hear that, Mommy's boo. Gilda, any reunification options for Malaysia and the Malaccas?
The options are when the CEF open for the appointments. There will be the same.
I think that's possibly though Portuguese ancestry over there. So if your Portuguese grandparents went to the Straits of Malacca, then you might be you might have some sort.
Yeah, no, there aren't any. It's and it's not reunification. It's nationality. We are talking about nationality in these cases.
Yeah.
No, there aren't any from Malaysia.
Okay, there you go. Simply dealt with Chris. So to recap, Tintin is called Dim and Strupi in Germany and Griefje in Amsterdam. And you do have to say it like that. A good mini rucksack to carry important items just over the one shoulder. Yes, because if you put it over 2 shoulders, that says something else, doesn't it? It's incredible. We're learning so much this morning. And in addition, in the Netherlands, the dog is called Bobby. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. In Spanish, the dog is called Milu. It's so confusing, isn't it? You go to Spain and you're saying, "Oh, look, snowy. Looks like snowy," and people go, "What?" It has been busy here, getting our house ready to sell. Michelle, good luck with all the process there. And it's great to hear from you this morning. And you get a nice obrigadissimo, obrigadissimo. James this morning. We're looking forward to speaking to you, James, on Thursday. And it should be Deagle or Deagle. Okay, so this is the Memrise group. If you could work the room with that, Matty, that would be awesome. Moon bag over the shoulder. Is that a new thing then we're not aware of? The moon bag over the shoulder. And okay, so it should go over your chest and shoulder like a messenger bag.
Francis is right.
He's on trend. But what is a moon bag? What do they look like? Okay, I'll look it up after the show.
It's it's the ones that do like this, like half of the
a segment of orange, that shape. Okay, we'll copy the youth then on this. Too many pockets and you can't find anything, and suddenly you're doing the macaroni. Hey, macaroni. That's brilliant, Francis. So you're looking around all your pockets. Okay, Carl, are you heading towards some Harry Styles fashion? It looks like it. It looks like it. I can't wait to see him copying my hairstyle and my cover. Man bag could be the beginnings, couldn't it? But the man bag is some stick roundly this morning, and I must say I've seen Parisian men rocking it. You know, they'll be outside a Parisian cafe. They'll have a man bag with their Gauloise cigarettes in, and they might even have a poodle on their lap outside the cafe there. And I think they look very manly doing that, for one. Obrigado, Gilda. I shall keep trying via the consulate route. Good luck with that, Bradford. Let us know how that works out. Woohoo! I'm now Thunderduck on the forum. Jerry updated my account, so he's easier to find after he's made some comedic quips about you can track him down on the forum. HMP, Her Majesty's Prison. What? Is that what that's saying? I will ask him how to show me how to open it. All very new to me. Also, like Liz talk the streets. Okay, so this is again, Deagle is sharing with us his tips for learning Portuguese. Jack says, Carl, I love a man with a man bag. Here we go. So rebalancing things here. Will you be wearing a pink shirt? I have not got a problem with pink shirts. I think I can rock a pink shirt, even with some cufflinks there as well. Albeit I did have more hair when I used to do that. I think it does need a big sort of quiffy barnet as well to get the pink shirt.
I love the picture of Jack Polly.
So do I.
It's
Who
in
is that?
Setúbal. It's an
Setúbal. Well
octopus in
spotted.
Setúbal.
Well spotted. Okay, and thank you for steering us away from man bags and pink shirts. We're here to talk about visas, not all that stuff. Portuguese got kicked out of Malacca in the late 16th century as opposed to 1960s Goa, making it a little bit more difficult, I suspect, there. And I carry what I want and I wear however it feels comfortable. You've earned that right, Thunder. Of course, I'm old, so no one cares. I'm sure that is not true. Gilda, thank you so much. I think that's all our questions for today. If we've missed anything, do pop that in the comments quickly because Gilda has some catching up to do, I think, after hanging out with the folks.
Do. Yeah.
But you're looking well on it. You're looking well on it. Sounds like you had a nice time. Sounds like they had a great time.
I did, yeah.
Okay. Anything else we should be saying about the visas update wise, about CEF, about the upcoming election? I think we've covered most of it this morning, Gilda, in quite a nice
I
measure.
think that those are a little bit uncertain times, but I don't think that much it's going to change. So for the expats, keep coming because we are here to receive you with the arms wide open.
You know what? That's a really good point because there are people now, there are Americans saying, oh, and somebody asked this, I think, on our webinar last Thursday, on the first Thursday we hang out and there are a few of the Ask Our Expats team there. And you can ask them questions. And somebody said before we went into the breakout room, somebody asked a general question. Portugal's getting really popular. I'm not coming until 2023. Do you still think there'll be room for me? So there is definitely, as well as the rise in popularity, there is a growing concern, I think, that the things will change. But I mean, there's talking of matrimonial capacity. There is plenty of population capacity here in Portugal, right? You wouldn't have any concerns along those lines, would you?
No.
Okay, so fear not, folks. Whether your timeline is, if you're squeezing in like Jean this year, you're coming in 2022 when we'll have a new government, or 2023 or 2024, don't worry. Just start getting your ducks in a row, start getting your vibes right, your mind right, and that positive thinking, and head this way. And if you've got any questions, you know where Gilda is on a Monday for this weekly update visa-wise. And of course, we talk about Portuguese culture. Always happy to answer questions about man bags, cockles, and pink shirts, aren't we, Gilda?
Yes, of course.
And here's a request. Any chance of getting Carla on the show? Lots of driving questions. This is a big deal at the moment. Carla is very busy, I suspect, at the moment, right?
And she's very shy, so I don't know.
It's unlikely. It's unlikely. Okay, so she might want to just prefer to correspond via email. Gilda, thank you so much. Lots of love to you and the family.
Thank you.
Everybody in the office. Ciao, ciao. And have a lot of fun opening up those gifts. You might need a clothes peg. Okay.
Thank you so much. Bye. Ciao, ciao.
Bye. There she goes. There she goes, everybody. Do you know what? I don't think we did do the weather, did we? After all of that. And so let me just take off the banner. Always great fun talking to Gilda. And you're right, Stephen, that face, she did do the face, didn't she? You're giving up drinking and you're wearing a man bag. What face would I get for both? Let's have a look then. Lisbon. We have 11 degrees and a few clouds at the moment, and we do it bilingual for you American folks, but only for Lisbon, not for anywhere else. You'll have to double it and add 30, folks. 11 degrees centigrade and a few clouds in the capital at the moment, and that is 52 degrees. Rising to 19 today, so still not too bad, and a sunny week. Look at that. After a slightly cloudy start to the week, 6 days of sunshine forecast for the capital. So it is that San Martino summer there that we're enjoying, certainly in the capital. Bit cloudier in Porto, highs of 19 this week, lows of 12. Coimbra, Look at that. Often the way here, the highest of the temperatures in the country, highs of 22 in Coimbra. Bit cloudy today, but a nice sunny week to look forward to. And it's cloudy all the way, although it's very cool to start the day. Clear sky and 8 degrees in Faro. We're going to go down there and look at a few photos from Dougie in a minute. So a high of 20 and looking forward to a high of 22 this coming Sunday, but a lovely week there. Where else has got a lovely sunny week? Let's scroll down through, see who else is going to get a great week this week. So a bit cloudy as you might expect in autumn and the oncoming winter here in Portugal. Santarém, not looking too bad, as is Viseu, but nothing to beat Faro at the moment, or Coimbra for that matter. Porto Alegre, you might think would do, but no, the inland Alentejo effect there, not giving very high temperatures, but some nice clear blue sunny skies by the look of it. Only 4 degrees at the moment in Porto Alegre. So yes, Coimbra and Faro having the best of it for the rest of the week. Villarreal, that's an interesting a turn up for the weather books there. So that's going to be a nice sunny week in Villarreal. 10 degrees at the moment with broken clouds, rising to 17s, 18s, and 19s for the rest of the week. And of course, the Azores. Look, 21s, pretty much all the way for the rest of the week. Rain to look forward to at the end of the week. Not much rain across Portugal, except in those autonomous regions. Madeira will have a bit of a rainy week by the look of it. Rain midweek and on Sunday. I have enjoyed bringing the weather to you and the news today. Did you like how that went? What I will do is and I might need a reminder to do this, is play the tune. Play the accustomed tune, the one that we know and love, put together by Pete, the unofficial ambassador of Castanheira de Pera, who put together our opening sequence. We'll roll that at 9, but I might need a prompt from you to do that. But from 8:30, we're doing the news and weather thing, and I think we like it. More talk of pink shirts. HMP, they asked to reset my password. This is all over my head. Give me a day or two and it will get sorted, says Deagle. Okay, so some interesting personal information. Father's doing national service in Goa, Damal and Diu in India. Antonio F., this is fascinating. So Portugal lost Goa, Damal and Diu in India on the 18th of December, 1961. Incredible. Yes, Eusebio's dad did his Portuguese national service over there. Incredible. Portuguese people. You are so fascinating and interesting. Hong Kongers of a certain age really rock the crossover single strap man bags. Think you've passed that age though, Carl, says Iris. Thank you. Charles, we need to find a way for us, don't we? If we find the right bag, we can get some Expats Portugal livery on it, can't we? And then we've got a new item for our merch. Pink shirts, man bags, whatever. Jerry, are you tuned in this morning? This is incoming information and inspiration for you. Ciao, Gilda from Francis. Thank you for hanging out with us. She's always such good fun, isn't she? And she says so much without saying anything at all with those wonderful facial expressions. I always hear Macarena when I'm searching my pockets. It's funny, isn't it? Or like a kind of German umps and daisy sort of kind of thing. I can't remember the rest of that, but you know what I'm getting at. I'm sure. There is always room in Portugal. Portuguese keep leaving, so the country always needs to replenish, says Elra. And no to Carla, I think. Carla of the cars. She puts the car in Carla. Talking about driving licenses. Looks like I have to be email with her. She won't be joining us for a chat on the show. Doing 30 minutes a day. So Rebel Mama has raised the game here. 30 minutes every day. Had an intense conversation at a shop regarding my fireplace and wood stove, all in Portuguese. Well done. Let's give you one of these, shall we? Muito bem. You're just getting a muito at the moment. If I just remove your comment, you get the full muito bem and the thumbs up from Philomena, who will be with us on Friday, folks. We're able to communicate mina duas problemas and get solutions. Almost broke my brain. Well done. You did it. You did it. I will be 2020 soon. Is that a way of saying 40? I wonder, or should I have not said that out loud? Let's get that muito bem off there for a minute. Style and social stereotype restrictions. It's all mind over matter. If you don't mind, it don't matter. Yes, I like that. Free yourself. Be yourself. More of that on Thursday from James. That's fantastic. No worries, Deagle. Take your time. And back to pink shirts with Tim Murray. Until recent times, pink was seen as a man's color. Very interesting, isn't it? And we are unusual among the species, aren't we? the males in the animal world don't seem. Am I right with this? Yes, they make more effort, don't they, than the females? Whereas in the human world, it seems the females make more of an effort than the males do. Why is that? When did that happen? Is it around the same time as when pink was a man's color? I wonder, Tim. Why do we care so much about what total strangers think? That is a good question and could launch an entire episode of the Feel Good Portugal show. So maybe we should do that next Saturday. It's a good question. And, we can say we don't care. We can say we shouldn't care. But we do, don't we? And we are social creatures. So I think there is a good point to that, isn't there? Or a good part to it. But maybe we worry about the wrong things about, in inverted commas, in bunny ears, the wrong things about how we're judged by other people and not necessarily some of the more important things. 74 watching. Smash the likes, everybody. And Operation VJ. I wonder if that's the national service that Mr. Eusebio Senior was involved in there. Brilliant sunshine all week here in Portimao, and I think we've got the pictures to prove it. Let's do a few pictures before we go today. If you were saying if you come in 2021, 2022, 2023, it's okay. I said I'll be in Portugal in 2020 soon. Okay, thank you very much for that. I thought 2020 was a new way of saying one is 40. And okay, so HMP is nothing to do with Her Majesty's Prison. It's Matty being abbreviated to HMP. And let's look at those pictures now before we go this morning. So I think a fairly good start to the new project of including a bit of news and weather to start the show at 8:30. This in from our lovely mate Clive, who was in Lagos just recently. Let me just find, whilst you're looking at that, let me please find out the backstory here. Clive was apparently listening to me in the dock whilst walking around Ponte de Piedad, the famous lighthouse near Lagos, on the way to Luge. And so you're over in Lagos, Clive, and you're also wondering which football team to follow. That's a great point, because when we talked to Michael, we were saying it would be a good idea to strategically choose a football team near you, because it's not good enough not liking football when you come to Portugal. We should pick a local team. I know I'm shooting on you, but I think you'll thank me for it later. We were over in Lagos last week for a quick half-term recce. It was Municipality Day on the 27th of October, celebrated in honor. Here we go. More saint action, folks. São Gonçalo de Lagos, which meant there were a few special things, including the reopening of the local museum after 4 years, an enjoyable concert from award-winning Portuguese beat combo Clá, and the visit of Nau Vitória, a replica, this is it on the screen now, of the first ship to circumnavigate the globe. We had really, not enough is known about that boat then. The first ship, or a replica thereof, to circumnavigate the globe. We had a fab but way too brief trip. So details of that, actually, a Portugal resident story, for those interested in such things. I'm going to put that, thanks to Clive, in the comments. And also Clive suggests that I broadcast from the crow's nest, which I think is the basis of a Portuguese swear word, is it not? I'm not going to, just in case I've got it wrong, but I think I can say that, which would sound like a Portuguese swear word, but in fact is not, because it is indeed the crow's nest of a ship. And Clive reckons that would make a great spot to broadcast from one day. I'll let you do that. I'll let you be my producer up there, while I'm probably just broadcasting on the figurehead, looking a little bit like Kate and Leonardo being on top of the world. No, actually, it's not good to associate oneself with that movie. We all know how that ended. Okay, we had the beautiful autumnal scene in Alcobaça, thanks to Pam. Where's this now? Oh, okay, let's go to Lulé, shall we? Dougie's been in touch. Dougie was sending pictures from all over the Algarve on his tour, his recent tour over this weekend. That is Lulé, where the wonderful market happens. I think most days, but Saturday is extra special at Lulé. This, I believe, is Olhão, and this is Tavira sunset from the weekend. Now, Dougie asks a really good question. Another one I'm hesitant to ask as we finish the show, because this could open up a whole can of worms. I wonder, he says, what the Portuguese make of weird English retirees. Go! We'll do that another time, shall we? So incoming from James. Okay, we've sorted you out, James. Deagle, thank you for your rain-soaked paving slabs there. That's probably one for tomorrow morning. While we're moaning about Portuguese weather, at least it's not lashing down in Belfast. So may well play that tomorrow, Deagle. Thank you very much for that. And RIP, that little birdie that the cat brought in, a present for you. Hopefully Gilda got better presents than that. And I'm going to show you now some pictures from Portimao. Thank you to Victoria for these. These are lovely, aren't they? What a wonderful time you're having there, Victoria. All the fun of the fair, just downloading these. I don't even know what you're looking at on the screen anymore. But the nice big wheel. Who doesn't like a big wheel? They're going into the picture deck as we speak. Oh, you're looking at a Tavira sunset there. And this is the wine that Dougie's been enjoying, a Douro. So he's in the Algarve and he's playing away when it comes to the wine, and he's got a old Papa Figos there, Douro. So from that bird on the Papa Figos wine, I'm going to take you to Porto de Mos, where I was at the weekend, and a picture of a kingfisher. Which I thought was rather marvelous. On Saturday night, I did a little bit of a photo safari of the castle. Porto de Mos Castle is amazing. We were there at the end of last week. And down in the town, a lovely park, one of Portugal's, I mean, so many of Portugal's towns have fantastic parks and facilities for kids. Porto de Mos, no exception. And this beautiful kingfisher sculpture over the river there. And the kids would say, look, a kingfisher. I'm looking in the river. Where? Because I have seen a kingfisher in Portugal. It's a really amazing sight. Obviously, the electric blue flying up and down the river. And the kids are saying, a kingfisher. I can't see it. Up there, Dad. And it was that picture that I just showed you. I'm just putting in the pictures from Victoria, from Portimao. I'll just check that is where they were from in a moment. Actually, while I'm doing that, let me just put the kingfisher back up so you can appreciate the artistry in that wonderful creation in Porto de Mos there. So Porto de Mos to Portimao. Let's have a look at these from Victoria. Thank you so much for them. Here's the first one coming in, the big Ferris wheel. So she's had all the fun of the fair this weekend, and look, she's gravitated, as you might expect. Is there no farturos in the wording there? That always makes me giggle. So hamburgers, bifanas, and kebabs. Fabrica, the factory of the hot dog there. Fabrica dos cachorros, more vocab for you. Rubira. What does that mean? Is that the name of the brand, or is that something else I haven't tried here? Oh, that gentleman is standing in front of the sign, I think, that says Fartura there. And look at that. Did you ever go on that, Victoria? On the is that Tokito? And finally there, what a brilliant bridge. Love those kind of girder bridges, if that is indeed what they're called. Let's get a bit of backstory from you, from Victoria. Few fun photos from Portimao's Feira de San Martinho over the weekend. So San Martinho Festival is happening, obviously, at this time of year all over Portugal. And look at this, a cruise ship leaving the port on Friday evening. Got to download that as well, lit up with multicolored LEDs. That's very beautiful as well. So we'll just about finish with that, unless there's something else I've forgotten. Did I show you Terence's picture? The upstanding gentleman of Alviagra early on. But before we go there, let's make sure you get to see the cruise ship leaving Portimao. Okay, so what's happening there? The ship is lit up with LEDs. And what are all those? Are those sails part of that vessel, I wonder? Or is that another vessel or even building behind? That's pretty special, though. What an amazing thing to see. And what an exciting life you live, Victoria, down there in the south. That's very beautiful. Thank you very much for that. So just in case I didn't show it. Oh, Jimi Hendrix with the Isley Brothers, Just Because. And yes, Terence Austin, artist.com. We're going to play you some of his fruity tones. He's such a lovey. He's recorded a blog of him picking olives, which I'm going to play you a segment of, and you can enjoy the whole thing in full sonic technicolor over on his podcast, which I've recommended he do because he's got such a beautiful voice. Those Austin brothers are so talented, and here's a picture from central Portugal overlooking Alviagra there, to give it its correct name and a beautiful vantage point, I think, that Garvo took Terence up to enjoy over the weekend. Thank you very much for all your pictures. We're just past 10. We will start again at 8:30 tomorrow on Consumer Tuesday, and we will start with the news and the weather. Let's have a look. Someone's going to be tuning in even more now. Is that because of the news and the weather? I wonder. I think we're doing okay with that. Then the feedback seems to be pretty good. Brilliant sunshine all week here in Portimao, of course. And you were saying, oh yeah, okay, that's the 2021-22. So he's coming in 2020 soon. That's a good date line, isn't it, for anyone moving to Portugal? 2020 soon. I'm past 40, so no chance of that. You're looking very well on it, Francis. What's your secret, mate? A caravella, very nice. I think that was the wine choice being referred to there. Lagos, a great little city, says Raphael, not your average globetrotter. Is that where we find you, I wonder? I'm happy with Man City, 3 Portuguese players. Have you got the local team, though, as well, Owen? I wonder. That's a replica of a 15th century caravella. It wasn't the wine then. The now was bigger. So we're referring to the vessels there, aren't we? Carl, I like the news, weather, etc. I suggest you abbreviate the news stories, which will make time for it all. Yes, lesson learned this morning. I remember. And also, yeah, while we're on that matter, feel free to send me your news selections. I want more local news as well. So if there's anything happening locally, even if you think it's a bit parochial and a bit, there is a problem. There's a real problem in Portugal in expats finding out about things. Portuguese people know about things and they tell each other, and it's often an annual event. And expats don't find out until they see it there and they stumble upon it. So if you've got things happening in your locality, tell me. People will make the journey. It's good news to have. Local events, do send them in to me. Carl@expatsportugal.com, as you can see on the screen there. But yeah, good point there, Rebel Mama. I will truncate them a little and include more snippets. I remember hearing the Portuguese in the Algarve calling the English lobsters because of how many get sunburnt there. Yes, but you wouldn't want one of them boiled in a pan. Correction, that is most probably a now, as the caravella used to have a triangular sail. So I do believe, and we're looking at the image sent in by Clive there. Have I got the right thing there, Antonio F? I'm sure you'll tell me if I haven't. And I'll be tuning in more now. Okay, so it's working for you, Michelle. And at me from Jean, Portuguese news, weather, sports to start the morning is a great addition to the format. Looking forward to seeing where you take it. Thank you very much for that. Gorgeous ship, says Iris. They do cut a dash, don't they? Like old locomotives and old vehicles. Just something about them, isn't there? Good morning. What? Oh no, Grant, too late. What can I expect to pay for representation for a D7 visa? I think you're looking around the €2,000, give or take, okay, for the process. Such fun, says Michelle. Love the news and weather, Carl, especially for those who can't yet read the local papers. My pleasure, Iris. So I'm so pleased you like it. AD Macau had a great win against, AD Macau had a great win against Abrantes and Benfica yesterday. More sports news coming in. Thank you for that, Paul. I agree. We won't know where and when things happen until after the event. It's true, isn't it? So get that local news in, folks. If you have a local event that you go to every year as a seasoned expat and you want more people to know about it, this is the place to tell us. So you didn't hear the music at the beginning. You didn't hear it at 9 when I meant to play it, but you will hear it now. And my plan is to bring you news and weather from 8:30. And then we will go into the familiar theme tune. Don't forget to tune in tonight at 6:15 for the gardening and Q&A with head gardener McGrady and Anna and John. Get those questions in. Carl@expatsportugal.com, or the WhatsApp number that you probably know by now, 913-590-303. Take care. Bye for now. Have a great day, and we'll see you later or tomorrow. Ciao, ciao for now.